folks are finishing up the costuming, and if anybody changes their mind at any point, you decide you want to take part in the program, please wander over there and find someone. Nobody has to have any speaking parts or any major speaking parts, at least. It's kind of repeat after me kind of a thing. So we're glad that everybody is here with us. My name is Bill O'Connell. I'm the pastor here. Welcome to our semi-controlled Christmas chaos. Because that's the best we're going to get today. And it's going to be great fun. I'm going to invite you to stand as you're able for our call to worship. And your bulletin has the responsive stuff. It's also on the screen there. All the words of the songs are also in your bulletin there, so it's all easy to follow along. You're going to, congregation will have that old part at the very end when you sing Rejoice, Rejoice, but that's not for a little bit. So. Dear God, join us in this service. Come into this broken world that we call planet Earth.
Oh, come, Emmanuel.
Come into this busy place that we call home.
And captive and ransom captive Israel.
Come into cold hearts and anxious minds.
That mourns in lonely exile here.
Where there is no peace, where people walk in darkness.
Until the Son of God appears.
Oh, come, Lord Jesus, and help us find room for you in our hearts.
Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel.
All join in.
Rejoice, rejoice, Emmanuel shall come to thee, O Israel.
You may be seated. Again, welcome to St. Paul Presbyterian Church. My name is Bill O'Connell, and I'm the pastor here. We're going to ask our usher if he would pass up the friendship tabs. There's a little red tab, one for each thing. Just pass it back and forth until it makes its way around. If you'd be so kind. Just want to say a word about orienting you to our space here this morning. Over there are our restrooms, men's and women's restrooms right over there. Speaking of restrooms, you will notice that we do not have any for the animals. Okay? And we just have to come to grips with that fact that it might get a little bit messy up here, and we're all going to snicker and laugh a little, and that's okay. Probably the first Christmas was a little bit messy also, so that's how it's going to go today. If you don't have a church home, we'd invite you to join us in 2018. On the back of your bulletin, you'll find information about our congregation and what we're doing. We have bags, welcome bags. Grab one of those if you're a first-time guest from the area. We'd love to let you learn a little bit more about us. We also here offer body and soul fitness classes at St. Paul. And that's a new thing that we've been doing this year. We have yoga, we have an active and fit class for seniors and those new to exercise. We have an early morning 5:15 a.m. Class Monday through Friday here. Ann, our teacher. Ann, where are you? Raise your hand. There's Ann. If you want to learn more about that, Ann's the woman. She's a crazy woman who gets up at 5:15 a.m. and comes here and works people out. So all of that is our options. And again, that's on the back of your bulletin. I invite you to check that out. We're adding Tai Chi and Pilates in January. So pretty exciting. Just a couple things for church members at St. Paul. We have new pictorial directories, our new directories. They're on the back. Grab one on your way out. We're going to be having a congregational meeting next Sunday to elect our new officers, church members. And there's an offering plate on the back if you want to contribute to the mission and ministry at St. Paul. Plates back there on the way out. Throw in a couple bucks. We would welcome that. And then finally, join us tonight for 7 o'clock. We have a traditional candlelight communion service. Very different from this one in the sanctuary. It's very solemn, very fun. Okay? So, we would invite you to stand, turn, greet your neighbor, let them know that you know are, and that if I asked you to tell it, you'd probably blow it. A detail wrong here, a part missed out there. The Bible's writers would tear out their hair because no detail in this story goes to waste. Everything carefully included in this tale of grace. But Sunday school, when we were young, church school Christmas plays ad infinitum didn't necessarily get things spot on. And now, please don't get me wrong, I'm usually in favor of creative license. But in this story is a special instance. So I might add bits, but I won't change a thing. Because this story is about the birth of the King of Kings. And everyone needs to take part in this. So when I say Christmas, please reply, it's about Jesus. Okay, so Christmas, it's about Jesus. Let's try that. Christmas,
It's about Jesus.
awesome. Where shall we start? There are so many beginnings in this story if we include all of the trimmings. But starting when God created the earth is probably too far back to get to the birth of Jesus before the end of the day. So we'll start with a visit an angel paid to a teenager called Mary. So all of the Marys who are here, come and stand in the aisle, if you will, please. All of our Virgin Marys, can you come over here? I know there's at least a couple. Where are they? Come on, Virgin Marys, stand up. Come to the center. Where did they go? No Marys. I know we had one Mary.
We need a Mary.
We need a Mary. Did we have a Mary? Did we disrobe our Mary? Okay, well, we're going to do it without a Mary, I guess. Okay. Come and stand now, if you please, and look like you're busy sweeping the floor, baking bread, and cleaning the door. That's great. Everyone, we need a Mary. Come on now. That's our Mary. Just stand where you are. Just stand where you are. There you are. Thank you. Let's hear it for Mary. All right. I thought we had another Mary, too. Where's the other Mary? Okay. All right, that's fine. Just look like you're busy. Sweeping the floor, baking bread, or cleaning the door. That's great, and everyone else, don't relax, because we're nearly at Christmas.
It's all about Jesus.
So all of our Marys are busy with everyday jobs, not expecting a visit from a heavenly God. But if our angels can come now here to the front, okay, angels, come hither. Come on, our angels. Thank you, angels, okay? Mary, you're a good sport, thank you. Okay? Now, so, I want you guys, your job, angels, is to scare Mary. Okay? So after 3, all of the angels say boo. Okay? Are you ready? 1, 2, 3, angels, boo. And Mary, you say, who are you? Very good, awesome. Okay, the angel Gabriel said to Mary, don't be afraid. God says that you're a brilliant maid, and though you're no one's wife just now, in 9 months' time or thereabouts, you'll have a baby boy, God's son. But, said Mary, I'm not married to anyone. Don't worry about that, the angel said. God can do miracles, and you will be wed. To that Joseph, the builder you're engaged to. God will sort it all out. Don't get misty. For years to come, people will celebrate your baby, so don't get in a state. Because they'll remember all this at Christmas.
It's all about Jesus.
So Mary agreed to do what God wanted and shook the angels' hands before they parted. Okay, and let's shake Mary's hand there. Thank you, angels. Shake, shake, shake. One by one. And so the Marys and the angels, after they're done shaking, you guys can go back to your chairs. Now, don't think you're done, though. Don't think your costume's off, because later on, I promise you, we'll have a role for you. Thank you, Mary. You're an awesome sport. Let's hear it again for Mary.
Yay.
Way to go. That's the spirit. We're all going to stand, and we're going to sing number 20. We're going to sing Angels We Have Heard on High. Words are again in your bulletin and also on the screen. Let's stand as we're able. get bigger and bigger, while local people talked and sniggered. And Joseph wondered how to react, knowing this baby wasn't his, as a fact. So let's have all of our Josephs, if we could, come on up front. Our Josephs, come on up, Joseph. There's one, there's two, awesome, thank you. Thank you, come on up here, Joseph. Good job. Let's hear it for our Josephs, all right? Encourage all those who are ready to take part, that's great, okay? As he thinks what to do about his engagement, and just to make sure the rest aren't rebellious, remember, it's nearly Christmas. It's all about Jesus. Very good, I'm glad that you're still awake. Now, Joseph's, here's some faces to make. Let me get out of the way here, okay? First, Joseph didn't believe the rumor, so give us a good disbelieving look, Joseph. No way, there you go, good. Right, there you go, got it. Then he heard from the local butcher. He shook his head and he said, after me, no way. No way. I'm believing what you said today. Believing what you said today. Understandable, right? Then, when he started to believe his eyes, Joseph looked very, very surprised. Awesome, look at that. They're born actors. Then, when he realized he wasn't the dad, his face showed everyone that he was mad. There you go, good job. All right. Good theory. But Joseph really loved Mary. Can you all make like a lovey-dovey face for us to see? Like, hey, baby. Yeah, there you go. He knows it. All right, there you go. And he decided to break it off quietly and not to go ahead and marry Mary. But then one night, Joseph settled down to sleep. Okay, guys, you can lay down if you would. Make yourself at home. We provided for you a very comfortable floor. So there you go. Okay. And he had the most amazing dream. There you go. That's fine. Okay, let's have our angels back up here. Angels, come on back up. You guys are busy. Angels are flying all around the place in this. Come on up, angels. You're going to gather around your Josephs here. Okay? And even in dreams, angels say, do not fear. So the dream angels said to our men, don't worry. Angels, don't worry. God has a plan. Awesome. Mary hasn't been seeing someone new. She's still very much in love with you. Go ahead and marry her just like you planned. And with that, the dream angels ran. Okay, dream angels, thank you. Awesome. Joseph woke up and did as he was told. You guys can get up, thank you. Bringing Mary back in from the fold. Okay, Mary, where's our Mary? There she is, she's right there, awesome, okay. Not long ago, until Christmas, it's all about Jesus. Okay, right. It was being announced by loud voices all over town that Roman Emperor Caesar said that all must go down to the towns where their family originally came from, a massive census with all forced to sign on. Now, in most cases, women didn't need to go, as their husbands or fathers would sign for them. So, Mary could have stayed home, feet up, while Joseph traveled and tried his luck to find a bed in his hometown. But that would have made the prophet Micah frown, because he had written centuries ago that the Messiah, Jesus, would be born on the road, away from home in Bethlehem, which actually means house of bread. Anyway, I'm getting off the story now, and you'll all be ready to be loud. So Mary's and Joseph's will make their way around to Bethlehem as we sing with voices unbound. And do we have any donkeys, any donkey actors with us today? Okay, awesome. You know, the Bible doesn't actually say that Mary rode on a donkey, more likely that the donkey carried their bags and she walked. But if you come as a donkey, now's the time to come and to help with the journey. So we're going to invite you guys to go wander around, all of you Marys and Josephs and donkeys, okay, donkeys leading the way, to go wander around the gym a couple times while we're singing. Just go, all of you wander around. Very good. And you're going to end back up here at Bethlehem by the end of the song. We're going to sing the song Bethlehem. You can remain seated. And we're going to have you join
Starlight in a father's eyes, a holy child is born. Kings and shepherds on their knees, adoring Christ the Lord. Bethlehem, Bethlehem, behold your beautiful Savior. Fall down, worship Him, the King born in Bethlehem. He knew the secrets of the world, His lips could not yet speak. Heaven wrapped in flesh and blood, the Son of Majesty. Bethlehem, Bethlehem, behold your beautiful Savior. Fall down, worship Him, the King born in Bethlehem. Fall down, worship the hope of Israel. Come and adore Him, Jesus Emmanuel. Bethlehem, Bethlehem, behold your beautiful Savior. Fall down, worship Him, the King born in Bethlehem. You're the King born in Bethlehem. Everybody join us. Oh, little town of Bethlehem, how still we see thee lie. Above thy deep and dreamless sleep, the silent stars go by. Yet in thy dark street shineth the everlasting light. The hopes and fears of all the years are met in thee tonight.
Well, the distance from Nazareth to Bethlehem is so long it will stress your brainstem. And even if Mary was in the peak of fitness, it's an 80-mile walk a week. Be my witness. But she wasn't merely ready to have a baby, so it probably took them 9 or 10 days, maybe. And what do you do when you go back to your hometown? Do you pack everything you possibly need for your stay, or do you let your folks know that you're on the way? Joseph would, quite rightly, have expected of that for him and Mary, where his family lay there. The problem was all the guest rooms were full up before the slow coaches, these two, arrived in the town. What got written as in many of our Bibles is a bit misleading. And stables aren't like sheds out the back. They're not a tumble-down old shack. But the animals lived inside the house. On the ground floor, there were cows and donkeys and maybe a goat or two. Okay, at this point, if there's anybody who's a cow or a goat or a donkey, all you guys over there on the side, come on over here. Val Wall. can you help our goats and all of those other animals? Come on over. Any other animals here? Any other animal actors? Yeah? Come on up. Yeah. Come on up to the front here, guys. I'll bring our cow. We got a lion. Awesome. Good job. Fantastic. You guys are doing it. Come on. We got a mouse. You guys are doing great. So awesome. While the people lived upstairs, away from the zoo, hotels didn't exist in first century Palestine. No one ever sent you to room number 9. Joseph probably went from house to house, asking if there's space for 2 of us. Because it's nearly Christmas.
It's all about Jesus.
There was no Holiday Inn or Travel Lodge there. Joseph was looking for a relative's house to share. Now, if we have innkeepers present among us, are there any innkeepers here? Okay. Please spread yourselves out. Did you get any innkeepers? No? Okay, that's okay. And as we sing this song, please feel free to sing along. Now we have a line just for you, and they say, no room at the inn, right? Let's all say that together. 1, 2, 3.
No room at the inn.
And one at a time, the Josephs can come to ask an innkeeper if they're all full up. And the last one, whoever that may be, will seal the deal with a handshake when he gets lucky. We're going to, I think let's stand as we are able, and we're going to sing Silent Night, 2 verses.
Silent night, holy night, all is calm, all is bright. Round your Virgin Mother and Child, holy infant, so tender and mild. Sleep in heavenly peace. Sleep in heavenly peace. Silent night, holy night, wondrous stars, lend our light. With the angels let us sing, hallelujah to our King. Christ our Savior is born. Christ our Savior is born.
You may be seated. Did you all catch the cameo by the panda? I mean, that was a really awesome one. There it comes again. Awesome. There it goes. Good. Well, just like it says in the Bible, right? Just like it says in the Bible. That's how we do it. So don't get too comfortable this time, as it won't be so long before my rhyme gives way once again to a carol or song. And remember, it's nearly Christmas.
It's all about Jesus.
So Mary's and Joseph's, come up here and sit on a hay bale. There you are, okay? For the most important part of our tale. Right there where the animals usually were, the Son of God's arrival did occur. Among the mess and the mud, all of the dung and the dust that accompanies life in this world with us. No midwives appear in the Bible story, but you can bet your bottom dollar it was gory, just like any other human birth on this planet that we call home, the earth. Being a midwife wasn't really a job in first century Palestine, but the women of Joseph's family would have rallied around in their time of need. Finally, it's properly Christmas.
It's all about Jesus.
Then, after Jesus had a good cry and a feed, the next thing this little boy would need was somewhere soft and safe to sleep. So Mary looked around the heaps of straw, and she put some in the feeding trough, which turned out to be good enough. You guys put baby Jesus in the manger? Wonderful. Thank you so much. That's so tender. We're going to sing number 25. We're going to sing Away in the Manger, the first two verses. The Nativity story zooms right out next to take in shepherds not at their best, trying to get through the night who are about to get an enormous fright. So any shepherds who are here today, would you please go gather at the back that way? Shepherds? Any shepherds? Guys, go on to the back there, okay? Over by the camera. There you go. Awesomeness. Look at them. Fine looking bunch of shepherds. There you go. There you go. Okay. Okay, while you're back there, you can just make yourselves comfortable on the ground. Just go sit down, shepherds. You can do that. Others of you might count the sheep to make sure none have taken a leap off the hillside or got otherwise lost, because every lost sheep to you will cost. Nothing much happens during the night, so they lay down and they slept at their campsite. Now your campsite, shepherds, is over there by the fire. So you're going to go wander over to your fire there. Okay, you see the fire? You're going to lay down over there by the fire. You see that? Awesome. Look at that. We've got a sheep, which they're carefully keeping track of. Good job, shepherds. Way to go. Now, shepherds weren't considered holy men in those days because they couldn't get to worship at the temple or synagogue due to always working on the Sabbath. So they couldn't usually worship with anyone else. But on that night, worship came to them. We're going to meet all of our angels again. I told you, angels are busy, 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 okay? All of your angels, I want you to go wander over behind the shepherds over there by the restrooms and the campfire. Okay? Go on, angels. And once again, you're going to scare them. Let's get our angels heading around. Good job, angels. Keep going. Sure. Fine.
Sugar.
Okay, so y'all around those shepherds. To say boo to the shepherds and give them a scare on the count of 3. 1, 2, 3. Boo. Good job. The shepherds were completely petrified. Shepherds, why don't you get up and give us your best look of fear. Like, oh! Okay, Nick was kind of scared there, or bewildered at least. They hugged each other, and they shook and cried. Okay, hug shepherds, come on. Come on, bro hugs, we don't care, come on, give us a hug. No way. Nick and Blake were like, no way, not happening. They hugged each other, they shook and cried. But the angel said to them, don't worry. Angels? Good. But I would advise you to hurry to the town where you will find the baby Messiah who will save humankind. And if you need some proof of this, you'll find the baby where ox food normally is. Then suddenly the whole sky was full up of angels singing, glory to God. Angels, glory to God. 1, 2, 3.
Glory to God.
Well done. The angels disappeared, the shepherds jumped up, and they left the sheep there, the whole flock, to rush off to find the newborn king. Shepherds, come on up over here to the manger. Using the angel's clue about where he was lying. The shepherds arrived where the family were, tiptoeing shepherds, so as to not cause a stir. Can you tiptoe for us? And they just knew that there was something special about the boy. They just knew that there was something special about the boy. So they hushed their babble and knelt silently by the manger. Shepherds, can you guys kneel in front of the manger for us? Thank you. Joseph and Mary were totally amazed by their story, which some might have said was praise. But they were getting used to surprises from God, and so they listened and remembered the whole lot. The shepherds had come because it's Christmas. Now, Mary's and Joseph's and shepherds, you guys can go sit. Thank you. Or you can stay up. Okay? Because the next part of the story is set a very long way away in lands to the east, where wise ones study the stars down to the least. Little change of movement which they thought to show up there in the sky what was happening on earth below. So let's have any wise men, or women for that matter, up here to consult the stars with telescopes and compare them with their maps and charts. Wise men and women, come hither. They've got gorgeous costumes. Come on, there we go. Look at them. Look at the bunch. Okay, so you guys are looking at telescopes. Can you give us your best? Rich, come on. There you go. Come on, Susan. There you go. Look at them. Vincent. Okay. And now, could the star go over there? Do we have a star bearer? Oh, hey, thank you, Nathan. Grab the star. Okay, our friend over there. Grab the star. Okay. Let's have you come and shine above the Bethlehem. Can you do that for us, star bearer? Thank you so much. The star appeared when Jesus was born, and the wise ones spotted it shining out. Okay, and they point to the star. They said, after me, what is this we see? What is this we see? The new star was shining so brilliantly. What should they do, this group so clever? They talked, and they got their heads together. You guys got to do a huddle up. There you go. All right. Let's follow the star, they decided, as one, and as it must mean, a royal baby has come. They set up on their adventure not knowing where it would end, by far the longest journey in this tale, across desert, mountain, stream, and dale. And such a long way it was, no doubt, that because the star appeared when Jesus popped out, it was likely to be at least a year on when these guys arrive, but it's time for a song. So as we sing, please can the star lead these guys around afar, because it's Christmas. It's all about Jesus. And we're going to sing We Three Kings. Now, I'm hoping in the room we have a king who goes by the name of Herod, I'm thinking.
Boo hiss, boo hiss.
Let's do that. Boo hiss. 1, 2, 3.
Boo hiss.
And and his guards, royal guards, thank you, palace guards, looking particularly fierce, I would say. He should come and sit on this big red throne for a bit as we continue to tell the story. The wise men didn't go at first to Bethlehem because the star wasn't that precise. And now our story gets less nice. King Herod is a nasty sort of man who does everything that he possibly can to keep himself in the seat of power. The wise men not wanting to scour the whole country for this new king went straight to Herod, not wasting a thing. Wise men? When they turned up at his place, he put on his very nicest face. Herod, give us your nice grin. Okay, look at that, very nice. He shook their hands and welcomed them. And listened to their story enthralled. Then he left them eating and drinking. You guys are eating and drinking? Mind that? Okay, yeah, there you go. And he did not like what he was hearing. Give us a scowl there, Herod. He didn't like this story about a king. He called together his cleverest folks to ask them what the prophets had spoke about where the Messiah was to be born. In Bethlehem, they said, in a new morn. Herod was scared of losing his throne to the new king he didn't even know. And so he went back to the wise men with a smile again. And he told them where to find the child, and also asked them by the by to let him know where he also the boy could spy. King Herod, you can go sit down for a while, and your guards, thank you, while the wise men find the child. Okay, and come on, wise men, you're going to go back here. King Herod is not really Merry Christmas. It's all about Jesus. The wise men went to Bethlehem, Jesus finding the boy now was probably walking. But Joseph and Mary had stayed in the town until he was big enough to travel back down to Nazareth, where he would grow up and live. But I skip ahead, I always do this. Let's have our star. Yes, where's our star? Star, thank you. Okay, we will do. The wise men arrived. Okay, star back behind the stable, thank you. Properly bound star until it stops with the family arm. Okay, so let's have our Marys making the bed and Joseph sawing wood for the shed. Mary and Joseph, you guys are back up here? Mary, you're making the bed. Joseph sawing wood for the shed. Can you give us a bit? There you go. Awesome. Very good. Good. Thank you. Okay. Here come the wise men knocking at the door. Knock, knock, knock. Wise men. Rich, come on, there you go. Okay, not what Joseph expected at all. He invited them in, and then they saw the child that they traveled all this way for. They present him gifts, not the usual kind, not teddies or woolly hats lined with soft fur, but gold and frankincense and myrrh. There you go. Thank you. Awesome. 3 gifts, yes, but not necessarily 3 wise men. Now, don't get cross with me, but there might have been more or fewer of these rich traveling astrologers, maybe 4 even. Maybe. Gold for a king, incense for a god. But myrrh is the sad gift of the lot, pointing ahead to the Easter story, which is also in places really quite boring. They left their gifts and they had a nap. Wise men and people. There you go, lying in your sleep there. There you go. Before they were due to set off back to tell Herod where to find the boy. But, warned in a dream about Herod's ploy, they went back east by a different road. Why don't you guys go down the center aisle and then back to their seats. Thank you. Let's hear it for our wise people. did a great job. It's gorgeous. And for now, we'll leave it there. A happy ending that we can all share. So as you tuck into your Christmas lunch, remember that Christmas is all about Jesus. So thank you to one and thank you to all for making this nativity a ball. And just to mess with your heads further, Jesus was probably born in September. But please come back for the Easter season. But now let's stand and sing our final carol. After that, refreshments are served in the hall. So Merry Christmas, one and all. Let's stand and sing Joy to the World. Big thank you to everyone for coming out today and for participating in the service. You have all been good sports, and we are most grateful for that. Follow us on Facebook, where we will post pictures and video of the service. Also, church brochures are in the entryway. Stay after the service to pet the animals. They're going to be around for quite a while. Don't forget welcome bags for first-time guests, and enjoy some homemade Christmas cookies and coffee afterwards. Now, we have a dismissal of blessing. Let's remain standing. I'll do the light bulb. I invite you to do the bowl again at the closing if you can't see the screen. Join heaven and earth in welcoming the Christ child. We join donkeys, sheep, goats, camels, all of creation. worshiping the babe of Bethlehem. And now may the blessing of God our Creator, God our Redeemer, and God our Sustainer rest upon us all. Amen. Let us go forth with peace in our minds and joy in our hearts. Merry Christmas, everyone. Thank you for coming.